first thing that I'm going to share with you guys are the qualities of a natural. These are 3 simple qualities that every single person on this planet who is good with women has. They have all 3 of these. If you are missing one of them, then this is the reason that you're struggling with girls, right here. There's a really simple way of remembering it, and that's ACE. A-C-E. A stands for abundance. Abundance is that quality where you have a lot of different women to choose from, a lot of different women in your life. And it's a quality you'll find most naturals have. C stands for confidence. It's the ability to be self-assured and to know who you are and know what you're doing. Doubt sometimes creeps in, but you know how to handle it. In a second, we're going to talk about confidence and how you can build it up if you don't have it. And finally, E is the ability to escalate. Every single person on this planet who's good at talking to girls knows how to sexually escalate. And so if you're a natural with women, you'll have all 3 of these qualities. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what happens if you only have 2 of them. So we're going to take a moment and just imagine that you've got, I don't know, abundance and confidence, but you don't have the ability to sexually escalate. So let's think about what your life's like. You've got a whole bunch of girls in your life, and you're really confident, and you're really outgoing, but you don't escalate with any of them. Congratulations, you are the gay best friend. That's who you are. You're hanging out with all these girls, and they really like you, and they know this great guy they'd like to hook you up with, and the minute you decide to come out of the closet, they're going to hook you up with them. And you're like, but I really like you. And she's like, oh, but I thought you were into men. I never really thought you liked girls. And so, that was the issue there. So if you've got abundance and confidence, you're just coming across as the gay best friend. And you probably, if you're in that situation, you recognize it. You're like, oh man, yeah, that happens to me. These girls don't think I'm interested in them. The next quality is abundance and the ability to sexually escalate, but no confidence. Well, this guy has got a whole bunch of female friends, and he's dating the ugly one. He's like, he'd really like to go out with a really hot girl that everyone wants, but he doesn't really fancy his chances, so he's dating the little frumpy one on the side, and he really wishes that he could work up the confidence to go up to get that girl. You're in that situation if you've got a bunch of female friends, but you get in relationships with them, but it's never the one you want to be with, and the one you want to be with is always just eluding you. Now finally, this one's one of my favorite ones. This is, what if you don't have abundance, but you do have confidence, and you have the ability to sexually escalate? Well, in that situation, you, my friend, are a pickup artist. You're going out every single night, attempting to pick up a girl, and then the next night you go out again, attempting to pick up another girl, and failures don't stop you. You're going to go out every single time and try again. That to me is the example of going fishing, and every single day you go out there with your little fishing rod, and there's a guy next to you, and he's got this huge net, and he just like trawls it on the back of his boat while he's speedboating with his hot girl next to him. And then you're just like watching him do it, and you go, that doesn't count. That's not real. Sure, you picked up 100 fish, and you got a really hot girl, but man, I'm here with my fishing rod every day, and get my little minnow once in a while. It's just stupid. Like, why would you put yourself through that? When you've got all 3, you're truly a natural. So let's think about this. This is a guy who has a lot of women in his life. And they're hanging out with him, they really enjoy being with him. And he's confident. He's outgoing. He's sociable and he likes and knows who he is. And this guy's got the ability to sexually escalate. He's flirtatious. He knows how to turn girls on. He knows how to let them know that he's interested in them. These are the 3 qualities that you need to be a natural. And if you're missing them, one of the fastest ways to get really good at game is just work out which of these 3 things you're missing and then just start building it up. Sounds easy, right? Just start getting it. Just do that. Well, let's break each of these things down and talk about the simple ways you can get them. So, abundance. How do you get abundance? Well, that comes from a special technique known as pre-selection. Pre-selection is one of those principles that psychologists have proved time and time again to probably be the #1 trigger in attraction. I'm going to pinpoint this one more time. Pre-selection is the #1 trigger in attraction. If you think you are getting through life without pre-selection, you're picking up hot girls, you are wrong. University of Oklahoma did a study where they took a picture of a guy and said to girls, how attractive is this guy? 59% of women said that he was attractive. That means 41% of women that saw this photo of this average guy were like, yeah, he's not attractive, I would never touch him. They changed one thing. When they showed women the picture of the guy, they said, how attractive is this married guy? It was the same picture of the same guy. 90% of women said they were attracted to him and would date him. 90%. That jump is huge. That is like a 30% increase in your attraction from just saying you have a girlfriend. Oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. Bam, 30% more attractive. Girl starts hanging out with you. She starts trying to date you. What about your girlfriend? Oh, no, I meant my girlfriend. She's a friend who's a girl. Done. That's it. 30% more attractive. That is it. You just casually drop, you have a girlfriend. Have a female friend, you take a picture of the two of you. Take like 5 or 6 different pictures of you hanging out. Done. You have a girlfriend. Just, be a bit vague about the way you're wording it. That's one simple way of doing it. Another really easy way to get pre-selection is to just start making female friends. So don't try and sleep with every single girl you meet. Instead, try and cultivate those friendships. That's what amazes me about people that want to become pickup artists or want to become seduction experts, or guys out on the pull. They're going out every night trying to pick up someone new, and it's like a zero-sum game. They either get them or they don't. So each night they're starting again. What if the first 5 girls you go out to pick up, you don't try and sleep with them, you just become friends with them? You just gain 5 friends. From that point on, when you go out with those 5 friends. Bam, pre-selection. If you see a guy walk in a club with 5 women, you will naturally assume that that guy is a pimp and every single girl wants to sleep with him, whether it's true or not. And they've done studies that have proven that men think this. Guess what? Women think it too. When you walk into a club with a bunch of girls around you, the girl doesn't think, oh, is that guy attractive? She thinks, oh, look at that guy and all those women like him. She doesn't even consider whether she's attracted to you. She doesn't think about it because you've already got women around you. When you talk to her, she's going to be responsive and she's going to feel safe talking to you because you have other women there. She's going to assume you're dating one of them. And then, of course, when she finds out you're not dating one of them, she'll be happy because she'll realize that all the time she spent talking to you wasn't wasted and you're someone that could potentially date her. You bypass a lot of the crap that you normally have to deal with. If you don't have female friends, if you're like, okay, and I can't make female friends, it's time to pull in all those extended family members. That's where your cousins come in. That's where, you suddenly find out you got some cousins that are about the right age, and you phone up your aunt, and you go, hey, I want to take the cousins out for a night on the town. Your aunt will love you, your mum will love you, your cousins will think it's great, and you get to rock up with a whole bunch of girls coming into the club with you, and bam, you're pre-selected again. And then when girls start being like, oh, are you two dating? You're like, that's my cousin, that's gross. We're not even in Alabama right now. So, these are really simple ways to build pre-selection to generate attraction. Next quality that we're going to look at is confidence. Now, getting confidence is one of those things that guys get wrong, okay? So I'm going to give you, there's a line. On one side of the line is timidness. And that's somebody who has no confidence at all. They're really shy, they're really quiet. And for a lot of guys that are starting to learn game, I think that's maybe where you are. If you're trying to improve your game or get good at dating, that's where you sit. On the other side of the line is overconfidence. There's guys like walk around with their chest puffed out like, I'm the man, girls love me. Why don't girls like me though? Why don't everyone hang out with me? I'm freaking awesome. They're on the other side of the line. And then there's confidence, which is right in the middle. The difference between confidence, timidness, and overconfidence is really simple. Confidence comes from competence. It's not you deciding that you're now confident, it's experience. I always think about it as like driving a car. The first time I drove a car, I literally crapped my pants. And I'll tell you why. It's very simple. It's because the first time I got in my car, I hit the accelerate, I went a little bit too far, and I drove straight into the Lexus of a well-known drug dealer in my street. That's what I did. It was terrible. I went around the block, hid my car, went back home, didn't drive for about 3 years. Straight up, it was terrifying. The concept of driving was really scary for me. And you know how I got over that fear? I bought a DVD on how to solve confidence issues with driving. No, I didn't. I did not buy a DVD on how to get confident. And yet guys do that all the time, right? They're scared of talking to girls, and suddenly they go out and they get a confidence DVD to help them. You do not need it. The way I got over my fear of driving was really simple. I got a driving instructor rather than trying to teach myself. I sat down with the driving instructor and I practiced every single day. Confidence comes from competence. When you do something over and over again, you get really good at it. That's going to be important because later on, when I'm helping you get those 7 dates in 7 days, that's going to be one of the factors. You're going to be doing it every day for 7 days. It will build competence. On the first day, the first couple of times you try and do it, you're going to be nervous. By the end of it, it's just going to be another day in the park. It's a piece of cake, you've done it before. And so the way confidence comes is by competence. The more you practice, the better you get. If you just sit and look at DVDs and if you just read books, you're not going to get there. You need to be getting out there and doing it. And so the last element is the ability to escalate. Now, I like the friend zone. I don't have a problem with it. And I remember when I first learned game, everyone was like, oh, getting in the friend zone's really bad. And there are people online, how do I get out of the friend zone? The friend zone's terrible. And it's like some kind of evil torture device, like the medieval ages, that you don't want to be in, You want to be out of it. But in truth, the friend zone's a really powerful place because all the hot girls, we spoke about this earlier with Casanova, they've already got boyfriends. If you want to get the hot girl, a very powerful way to do it is to just be around for when they're single. And the way you do that is by being in the friend zone. But I'm not scared of the friend zone because I know how to get out of it. And the way out of it is by escalating. I pride myself on being the guy that doesn't count. And it's really funny, I'll hang out with girls, and girls like count the amount of guys they've slept with in front of me and with their friends. They'll be like, oh yeah, I've only slept with like, 9 different guys. And then she'll be like, oh, can you name them all? And the girl will like list them off. And she'll be, Bob, John, Jim, and she'll go through the whole list. And then one of the girls will be like, what about Adam? And she'll be like, oh, I forgot Adam. Oh, Adam doesn't count. That's who I am. I'm the guy that doesn't count. A girl can sleep with me, it didn't matter. That didn't count. You don't add that notch on the bedpost. Why? Because I don't talk about it, first of all. So the girls don't think that, I'm going out there talking about it, so they need to. They don't have to. They can keep it quiet. I don't need to brag. They don't need to brag. And most of the time when I sleep with a girl, it's not because we're getting into a relationship. It's not because we're dating. It just happened one night. We were just hanging out, and then it happened. We just had sex. And that's because I know how to escalate. So I waited until the right moment, and I escalated. I didn't count. In the same way that I'm pretty sure that when Casanova was sleeping with, some dude's wife, I'm pretty sure she didn't go back to the husband and be like, you won't believe what happened last night? Slept with Casanova. No, it didn't count. She only slept with one guy her whole life, and it was her husband. That was it. That was the rules. And it's always funny to me because guys laugh at me because I love hanging out with girls. I don't like hanging out with guys. And if there was, 2 groups of people, it was a group of guys and a group of girls, and the group of guys were going to go to the bar, and they were going to watch the game, or maybe they were going to go and play touch football or whatever it was they were going to do, and the girls are going to go and get manicures and go shopping and, talk about fashion, I'm going to go with the girls. And it's always funny because invariably some jocked up dude is going to be like, I thought you taught guys how to pick up chicks, man. Looks like you're more of a girl yourself. Hanging out with all those girls over there. You want to be a real man. Hang out with us bros. And I'm like, dude, man, I don't know. Something about hanging out with a bunch of sweaty dudes in a bar just sounds kind of gay to me. I would rather hang out with girls every single time. I enjoy their company, and I learn a lot about them. I know what Christian Louboutin shoes are. I know what the next best nail polish is from OPI. I know, how gel nails work and the importance of making sure that you get the UV coat done correctly. I learned these things by hanging out with girls. It means I can communicate with girls on a level that guys can't. And so when that guy comes back and I'm hanging out with his girlfriend and I'm talking to her about, the latest thing that she got from Shopbop or whatever, and he's like, why are you guys talking about that? That's just gay. That's going to upset the girl, and she's going to want him to go away, and she's going to want to keep talking to me. And that is why the friend zone's great, because the friend zone is what separates girls from all the other relationships in their life and all the douchey guys. That's what makes her want to be with you. But you've got to be able to escalate. So I'm going to teach you a really simple way to escalate. The key to escalating is to have a get out of jail free card, right? Everyone's like, oh, I'd love to escalate, but what if it goes wrong? What if the girl's not happy about it? So I'm going to teach you probably the closest thing to a routine that I have, which is a really simple way of introducing sex into a conversation without actually putting yourself out there to get rejected. And it works like this. You simply say to somebody, hey, are you comfortable with uncomfortable things? Invariably, the girl's going to say yes. If she says no, don't worry about it. You do not have to talk to that girl about sex. Forget that. Stay in the friend zone. Don't worry about her. You move on, get another girl. It doesn't matter. Or stay in the friend zone until later, and you can reintroduce it later on. I'm going to tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, the person's going to say, sure, or I like to think I am, or sometimes, or depends what it is. At which point you ask the next question. And essentially what you've gained is permission to ask the next question. And the next question is, in your opinion, how soon into knowing somebody is it before you can talk about sex? Now you're getting their permission again. You're essentially saying, can we talk about sex or not? And some girls are going to be like, you can talk about sex whenever you want. Talk about it right now. I'm totally open. Bam. You can start talking to that girl about sex, and you can start escalating. No problem. On the flip side, if she says, man, I don't get why anyone would want to talk about sex when they first meet. You got to know somebody for like 3 months. Well, 2 things. 1, she's just told you she doesn't really want you to talk about sex with her right now. 2, she's talking about sex. Amazingly. She's just talking about it in a negative way. She's saying sex isn't something she really wants to talk about now. So you know that you couldn't broach the subject of sex without completely weirding her out, but you should probably stay away from it for a bit and you can come back to it later. Again, I'd say probably 90% of the women you meet are going to say you can talk about sex pretty soon into meeting somebody. And at that point, you can start a very simple discussion about sex. But you don't want to be like, can I sex you? That's weird. Don't do that. That's strange. And in the same time, you don't want to say, do you want to have sex with me? That's also strange. The key to talking about sex is to talk about it in the third person. So the way I like talking about sex is, I'll be like, okay, so that couple over there, do you think they're on a first date? And more importantly, the reason I brought this up is, what do you think their sex life's like? Because I think it sucks, and here's why. And then you're going to discuss other people's sex life. And that is the key to talking about sex. And once the person's comfortable with you talking about other people, remember, you can talk about anybody else in the room. The best thing about this conversation is different depending on what room you're in. Every room you're in, the people are different. And you just create up what you think their sex life is like. You know, like these two, definitely jackrabbits. They're just going at it all the time. These two over here, you can tell he's more of an underneath kind of guy. You know, this guy I think likes getting spanked. I don't know why, I just get that feeling from this guy. And so you can be funny about it. You can talk about the different people around you, but you're introducing the concept of sex. And if you notice, I also introduced bondage in there. He likes getting spanked. It enables you to escalate that situation up. And all you're doing throughout the conversation is slowly seeding different elements and seeing what she responds to. If she laughs really loud when you say the spanking thing, that's where we're staying. We're going to talk about bondage and spanking. That's where it's going to be. And if she's like, that's disgusting, no more bondage. We don't need that anymore. Let's keep it nice and simple and PG-13. The point is that we're analyzing what they like, and we're using that to enable us to start talking about sex. Now, later on, I'm going to talk about how to physically escalate, but I'm going to do that at one of the later sections.